Oh, God.
I have been falling for 30 minutes. If you actually think that I was just the right gay guy, gay guy, gay guy, gay guy, gay guy, gay guy. And you just, you can't fear. Talking to fear man. Fear man. You gotta be kidding me. It's time for
All my kids in the backseat. You know just how we do.
I don't even know what the last scene is. Like, we all love Kelly, and that's what matters. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the world's wokest warrior, primitive-sided, toxic fanboy, aligned with the like-minded, Tony, tone deaf, rocking with you. I want to welcome one and all to the Clown World Review. We are back for the Monday Night War retrospective. Weeks 45 and 46, I believe. We last left off at Bash at the Beach, 1996. The NWO is officially a thing. Over on Raw. Yeah. Over on Raw.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought we were talking about the Bash and the Bitch. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Great Jet Psaki out of this.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're seeing a little bit of Stone Cold. He's slowly coming together. He's king of the ring now. Sort of run through every superstar, but we've got a ways to go until WWF really gets behind him. So tonight we're going to be talking about, okay, we got the Go Home show for In Your House International Incident, and then the night after the pay-per-view, and we start the road to SummerSlam, which we'll talk about this later on. It does get announced, but Vader will be going for the WWF Championship. Shawn Michaels is the current champion, so it kind of is what it is. I think this is Vader's last real great run, and I don't want to say great as in good, but great as in, he's at the top of the card right now in American professional wrestling. And yeah, we start going more attitude after this, and he just doesn't kind of fit in. Like, I remember seeing him a little bit around early 1998 in the WWF, but it was on like Shotgun Saturday Night, maybe a little Sunday Night Heat when that started, but he might have even been gone by then. So enough rambling. Hail everybody in the chat. Superfan Adam Shawhan, woot woot. Brutal Morningwood, the best name on YouTube. Chris Fisk, fuck, best mind on YouTube, man. This dude is smart. We got off the show last night. We should have had an after show. Me, Draven, and Chris ended up talking for like an hour and a half about some really interesting shit. So
yeah,
good times. Watch Draven play some Elden Ring. Always a good time. So let's go around and introduce everybody on the panel first. He's got the red, white, and blue running through his veins like he's Demi Lovato or any of your favorite young Disney pop stars. He was born and raised in the USA like Osama bin Laden and probably Zelensky. Ladies and gentlemen, Etep Wokuian from Etep Wokuian's Place to Be Reviews.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know. How you doing, gang? I
Like
kind of
your
botched it
great
up.
return.
Oh, man, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. And thank you to Tony and Draven and Chris Fist and Vinny and Red for holding it down over on Monday Night Going and Raw, episode 195 last night. I was missing you guys. That's why I jumped on for just a split second. And I am so happy I am back home and here for this. I didn't get to watch the wrestling this week, but I watched ahead a little. Like last week I was telling Tony I kind of watched ahead a little bit. So yeah, I'm stoked. This is NWO like they're starting to take hold of everything, and yeah, it's great. I had a nice little vacation with the fam. Drank way too much yesterday, but it was worth it. I regret nothing.
Like kids in the pool play with your long leg hair.
I was like, hey, man, get off my leg hair. I'm corn pops, bitch.
Too young for it to be blonde.
Yeah.
Hail 24 Eyes in the chat. Thank you for joining us, brother.
He's a new channel member, actually, over on
Yes.
at the Place to Be. So thank you, man. Joined last night. I appreciate it.
Yes.
And Vassy reviews. We lost one, but we gained two, so we're at 13. And that's all right, man. If I have nothing but love for anybody that became a channel member. You can come go as you please. It's fine. We appreciate you. So thank you, Tony. Hail this panel. I saw a superfan said, "What up?" Hail superfan Adam Shawhan, Draven. And Tommy, man, let's do this. Tony, I'm ready, brother. Absolutely.
Just so you know, too, at the end of the show, Mr. Grant Gregory shows up and he's like, "Hail Etep," and I'm like, "All right, you might be disappointed, but he ain't here to say hell back."
You did a William Regal. I'm afraid I have some bad news.
Yes, I do. I forgot about that line. Dude. He's so great. I'm glad
Regal. We're talking about wrestling minds. Regal's a fucking genius.
So good.
And not only is he a psychology genius as the wrestling business goes, but he could work.
And that's the angle he's doing in AEW. Basically, he has Danielson and Moxley under his tutelage since he actually trained them. I believe in legit real life. So he's we're professional and we're willing to take other people under our wing. So one of the Asian guy that's with Orange Cassidy, he gets in the ring and tries to hey, can you teach me? Kind of thing.
Okay.
The Jericho. Okay, we all know Jericho.
There's that too. But
and
I
my
like that
bad.
angle too.
We'll get right back to the introductions. We know Jericho reinvents himself every few years as some 80s rocker. Right now he's like Bret Michaels, basically. But no, they started the Jericho Appreciation Society. It's him. It's Jake Hager, Jack Swagger, and a couple of newbies they kind of took under their wing. And what makes them so great, Jericho's a fresh heel. Hail Brahma Bull. So he goes out there on the mic, and they're all like, "We are not professional wrestlers. We are sports entertainers," and it just garners so much fucking heat, so much heat.
Because it's not only is it a jab against the WWE, but it's and it's we're sports entertainers and we beat up pro wrestlers. So they kind of build this heat, where it's them.
Yes.
And if anybody that they deem worthy to join them versus the rest of the roster. So it sort of kind of reminds me of NWO in a way, but with a different package.
Really good booking. So, and yep, who you're staring at the screen right now, that voice you're hearing is the vampire of all fandoms. He doesn't sparkle, but he's got embers, if you can see those. Ladies and gentlemen, Angelous Draven, how are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good. It's good to have Etep back here with us. Without him last night, it was a little not emotional. What is the word?
Cumbersome.
Yeah, cumbersome, I guess you could say. But we made it work. It's good to have
you guys
him back.
did excellent.
And I'm looking forward to talking about some wrestling as always.
Hell yeah. And next up, we're talking about a new NWO where someone coming in and just taking over the entire organization. Ladies and gentlemen, and you never know who's going to join next. From the PWO, we've got, what is it, Hollywood Pigster?
No, man, we're taking over.
We came over from the Blue World Order. Now we're part of the PWO, man. Now, what's going on, everybody, ladies and gentlemen? Please restore your seats to the fully upright positions and lift those feet off the floor as the guinea pigs come through. We're marching right through, and we're marching all the way to the top, brother. Ooh, yeah. What's going on, everybody? And Draven, what the hell are you doing to Elder's rings? That's disgusting.
Oh, I'm shattering them.
It's got Pat Patterson inscribed on it, like showing like the Lord of the Rings, but a lot gayer. Hail Red Gaze, nice to see you, man. Check out his morning shows. Dude, I'm such a lurker. I'm usually at work when you're live in the morning, Gaze, so I'm sitting there listening. Might throw out a gender specific comment every now and then, and yeah, but definitely enjoying the morning shows, bro. So thank you, and thank you for joining us.
Damn right. Get with the gays agenda, bigots.
Yeah.
Right.
Hit that subscribe bell, and you'll know when he goes live, motherfuckers. What do you want me to say?
Tax the privilege button.
Yes. Yes. So, yeah, this week in wrestling, we're going to be talking about July 8th and July 15th, 1996. Let's start with Monday Night Raw, which did garner a 2.5 rating compared to Monday Nitro, which scored a 3.5. So full ratings point there. Nitro's on fire. And I'm going to tell you what. These two Nitros both emanate from the same location, which is a rarity for WCW. We see that with Raw all the time, but both Nitros are also live. They're at the Disney MGM Studios. Mm-hmm. It's an outdoor event. There's fireworks. It just feels like a big deal. And knowing how Nitro will end up going out, you know, as far as the last episode, it just means something to me that they're there. You know, like I looked forward to Road Wild every year because they would be outdoors and you'd have the bikers all around, and it just adds a certain feeling. And yeah, WWE will do their WrestleManias and arenas, and you can kind of see the sun setting and stuff, but it's so big. Now, number one, I like arena shows too, don't get me wrong. That adds another type of feel, but these kind of smaller, more intimate outdoor events, it makes for good TV, in my opinion.
It's the feng shui.
Yes. The feng shui. So,
Terry Funk Shui.
Yeah.
A graduate of Funk U.
So a fucking 2.5 rating, a full ratings point lower than Nitro. This is the July 8th, 1996 edition of Raw from Green Bay, Wisconsin, the Brown County Expo. I don't know why I'm sharing the screen. I mean, so used to it. Our current, yeah. I got to get premium eventually so I can put something interesting here besides just talking or results. So, our current champions, Shawn Michaels. What?
I was just gonna do Spirit Fingers. I don't know. Spirit Fingers. It's Sparky Pulaski. There's a. Yeah, that's a horrible movie reference. Look, I'll just see myself out. I'm sorry.
So our current WWF champion going into In Your House is Shawn Michaels, our Intercontinental Champion, Ahmed Johnson, and World Tag Champs, the Smoking Guns. Exciting.
Yeah, that's nothing more exciting than Ahmed Johnson.
Yeah. They should, like, at this point in her career, they should have just put Sunny with everybody. Like,
she was anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Just take that personality and turn it up. Yep. You're with everyone backstage, you'll be with them in front of the camera too.
Tell Tammy to get out there and blow Michaels during the close of the show. His wife's probably watching, Vince. That's okay, pal. It'll be good TV. Watch. The ratings will go through the roof.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about that. If they tried to sell off some of her lingerie or underwear, it would never sell because everybody's, I already got a pair.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dolph Ziggler's still selling the ones from her and Amy. She's trying to sell Amy Schumer's. He's like, she's hosting the Oscars. Everyone's like, Jesus.
There's got to be like a scarcity factor to it. And
Yeah. Yeah, there's an abundance. That's the problem. He's got a war chest. There's a war chest of them out there.
Yes.
Hail Parrot Head.
Hail Parrot Head, thank you for joining us. Yeah, I've actually
People's Jew.
Yeah. It's usually the people's nose. Tonight it was the people's Jew. I'm like, I like that. I can go with that.
the People's Jew. So I thought that was George Soros, but
Wrong George, baby.
So yeah, 1996 is a better year than 95, if not for one reason. Talking about Shawn just sitting in the ring getting his cock sucked. He doesn't come out and just dance to his theme music anymore for the girls, so that's nice. You know, that alone. I'll take Vader versus Shawn Michaels as long as it keeps him fucking occupied. So, before we even get into Raw, WWF President Gorilla Monsoon comes to us from the offices of WWF to announce the suspension of the Ultimate Warrior, who did wrestle his last pay-per-view match at the King of the Ring. Warrior failed to appear at 3 house shows. The suspension will be lifted once Warrior pays an appearance bond to ensure fans that he will be where he's advertised. And yeah, so he's in trouble. He's here to wrestle tonight. But yeah, that's only because it's pre-taped. So yeah, maybe they should have, I don't know the best. Maybe they should have announced it the next week, but yeah, weird timing. Anyway, so we do get the Ultimate Warrior versus Owen Hart, who's with Jim Cornette. It's okay. Owen Hart, he's a technician, he's a tactician. He's good at what he does, but we're talking about Warrior here, so yeah, it was probably almost as good of a Warrior match you could possibly get, but it does end in DQ when the British Bulldog tries to ambush Warrior. Then Vader makes his way out. Owen, Bulldog, and Vader trying to jump the Ultimate Warrior. They hit their finishers, and Vader gives his Vader bomb, and it makes Vader look strong. Again, they have him going into the second biggest show of the year for the championship here in about something like 5 weeks. So, and we go to a commercial break, and we come back, and they're carrying Warrior out of the ring, which they mention here in the results I'm reading, like that's how they probably should have written him off TV instead of the whole like awkward, you're suspended, but you are here tonight. Like, yeah. So, Shawn and Ahmed are homies right now. Like, if you remember, they introduced Psychosis a couple weeks back. They've been hanging out together as they're both champions. Shawn says he's had his differences with their mystery partner, Psycho Sid, in the past, but who hasn't had problems in wrestling? Ahmed Johnson says he thinks Camp Cornette won't be able to walk over their new partner like they just did the Ultimate Warrior. Snap. So next we get... Okay, this is the match that gave me like PTSD, and it's in the middle of Raw now. That Warrior match went about 10 minutes. Then we went to commercial. We come back, get that little promo, you know. So we're getting to about a third of the way through the show, and we get Savio Vega versus Justin Hawk Bradshaw, which goes on far too long. Did we cover this a couple weeks ago too, where they wrestled each other?
I think so.
Okay. It's about what you thought it would be. Yeah. So it was not very good. Like
We
I
need
don't know.
APA Bradshaw. That's what we need.
Yeah, I like Farouk. I honestly, I think Farouk and Bradshaw's best work was as acolytes or the APA.
Mm-hmm.
This just goes on far too long. Like I don't care. I never cared about Savio Vega. Like he gets a little bit of a pop from the audience, but they also didn't have much to look forward to. But Bradshaw, he needed to be having like quick and decisive matches at this time. So also during Savio Vega's appearance, Brian Pillman tries to whack him with crutches, but yeah, that's just a play up. He's a ticking time bomb. He's got a broken ankle right now. Pillman does, so he's not going to be able to really get into anything serious.
And he's still in that state, still outperforming a lot of the active wrestlers.
Yeah. Like they put him on commentary, and he's just, he's interesting. He's at least as interesting as Steve Austin is on commentary right now. So. And they didn't worry too much about promo skills back then. There's been some bad promos on these early Raws. So, anyway, Savio lands a spinning heel kick for the win over Justin Hawk Bradshaw after about 13 minutes. A boring match. Nobody cares about Savio Vega. He
Etep's backstage then, by the way.
Oh, I didn't see he dropped off. There he is. What's up, bro?
Hey, man, sorry about that. Every now and then, StreamYard just decides to say no.
And Vinny's backstage too as well, while you're at it.
Hey, Vinny. All right. Oh, great.
Hey, Vinny.
Hey.
What's
What's
up, my N-words? Hard R.
How the fuck you doing?
Not bad. How's everybody here?
Good.
What's going on, brother?
Not too much. Just working, and getting ready to talk wrestling.
So I heard Tony before I came back. I heard you talking about Ahmed in another boring match. I'm like, does he know how to put on any kind of match but a boring match? Like,
Ahmed's talking shit with Shawn Michaels. Then we go, the boring match is Savio Vega versus Justin Hawk Bradshaw.
Oh, I came just in time.
See, Ahmed to me is boring. Savio Vega is like paint drying. I never cared for Savio Vega. He was just one of those guys. I was like, and they put him in that gang war thing with like the DOA and them eventually, Los Boricuas, which it was fucking terrible. That was
This is my first time seeing him.
Okay.
I wasn't a WWF guy. And yeah, I'm not a fan.
He was no Eddie Guerrero. He was no Conan. Like
no.
He was
Benoit should have strangled him. Never mind.
He's like a less talented D'Lo Brown, you know? Like
Yeah.
That's
That's honestly a perfect way to categorize him. D'Lo like could work the crowd. He could actually work in the ring. Savio Vega was just there. He was just there.
He could walk around the ring.
That's about it. You know, he knew how to circle and tie up without, you know, getting his feet tangled and falling on his face. So, you know, there's that.
That's
I'm a little fucked up because I watched this episode last week, not knowing we were going to end up having to cancel on Tuesday. So I'm like, didn't we already go over this? But I'm reminding myself, like I think I might have ruined the Psycho Sid surprise, but that's their mystery partner. Shawn and Ahmed are waiting for right now because it goes back to them. They're making some serious threats to the Smoking Guns.
the surprise wasn't him shitting his pants?
Yeah. Well, that's what he does. They bring out their mystery partner, and the camera zooms out to Psycho Sid, and he just bends a biscuit right there on not live TV.
He got an extra lump in his pants.
We'll fix that in post. No, we won't. We're gonna leave it in there. Matter of fact, replay that shit. Well, it'll be great TV. Just replay Sid shutting himself.
You got JR going, what the hell's in the ring? Oh, son of a bitch.
Is that barbecue sauce?
That's good old honey brown barbecue sauce right there. If I ever seen it before, straight from Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner.
It's just such a weird time because they have JR, but they're using him in like backstage segments in the WWF hotline. Vince is on commentary, which is never particularly exciting.
No.
I like Vader, but not as a main eventer. Like him going after the title just isn't appealing to me. We have Psycho Sid and Savio Vega and Ahmed Johnson and like so much shit to wade through.
Seeing Vader go for the title is almost as exciting. I mean, it's better than British Bulldog going for the title. I won't be title shot. No, nobody cares, Davey. Shut up.
But it's
At least Vader, like, he looked entertaining. He had a look, you know?
He could work. Vader could work.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Yeah.
British Bulldog didn't have really a look until he had those braids or beads or whatever.
Yeah.
His career was doomed when Dynamite was gone. When Dynamite Kid died, when they split that tag, it was over. It was over for him. You know, the only thing he had was he was married to one of the Harts at that point, and that's what kept him around. You know, that and the fact that McMahon loved him because his arms were 26 inches, his chest was like 65, and he was juiced out of his eyeballs.
Right. And he could trick him to bend over at any time.
Oh yeah.
I think my man likes.
McMahon walks up behind him. Davey, pick up that corner. All right, Vince. It's me title shot. There it is.
I figured that would have been Pat Patterson asking him to pick things up.
That's both of them. Don't forget,
Vince would be like,
he did some stuff to referees. Male ones.
Pat, come over here and finish. Sorry.
So, speaking of Davey Boy Smith, now here's where we turn it all around from Savio Vega and Justin Hawk Bradshaw. We get the British Bulldog Invader versus the Godwins. Calm down, everybody.
Oh.
And Davey Boy Smith actually, I don't know why, because they're trying to make Vader look strong right now, but Davey Boy Smith hits his running title shot for the 1, 2, 3. Yeah, but they made the Godwins kind of hold their own in this match, which again doesn't mean much, but at least it wasn't a squash. We get a WWF hotline commercial. Has Undertaker wrestled his last match with the WWF? We're gonna find out. So, Cornette appears split screen with Shawn and Ahmed Johnson. They start talking shit to each other, and then Shawn and Ahmed reveal their mystery partner, which is Psycho fucking Sid. Cornette loses his mind, and Sid acts insane. You know, like, what do you want me to say? If you've ever heard a Sid promo, it's not much. It's written in crayon.
Cornette went insane and blocked him on Twitter before Twitter was even thought of.
Yeah.
Don't forget about Magic Spoon.
I've heard you want to, Kenny, you want to try some new grooming? Try manscaped.com, Kenny. It's a lawnmower 4.0. It'll trim your ball hair, Kenny.
So, next week, that's the end of Raw, the big surprise, Psycho Sid. Meanwhile, we've got the NWO over in Nitro. Next week, WWF Champion Shawn Michaels will take on Billy Gunn, while Intercontinental Champion Ahmed Johnson takes on Bart Gunn. I know.
Riveting shit.
Be still my beating heart.
Yeah. So, just so you know, Vinny, this is the Nitro after Bash at the Beach where the NWO got together. Hogan turned heel. They pulled a 3.5 rating and Raw got a 2.5. So,
damn.
Yeah.
That's some monster numbers in comparison.
Yeah. So, Monday night.
I'll tell you what, those numbers still sound better than the gas prices.
That's true.
Yep. So Monday Nitro is again, coming to us live from the Disney MGM Studios. It's an outdoor show. Our current champions, world champion is the Giant. Ric Flair is the U.S. champion, as he did defeat Conan for that title the night before at Bash at the Beach. Harlem Heat are the tag champs. Lex Luger's the television champ. And Dean Malenko's the cruiserweight champ. This is actually the first Nitro to take place outdoors. It, confused it because that first Nitro ever was in the Mall of America, but yeah, that was indoors. So our first hour, we have Tony Schiavone and Larry Zbyszko on commentary. They react to Hogan turning evil and what this could mean, and is there anyone else? They've spent all this time talking about who the Outsider's third man was. Is there a fourth man or a fifth man?
Mm-hmm.
So, Larry Zbyszko. What's up?
I can't remember. Did he start painting his beard right away?
No, he had to grow it back out. Hogan had to grow it back out first.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, well, he comes out on Nitro, and he's actually not going to be here this week, but the Outsiders will make an appearance. He shows up next week, and he's just got the mustache, like a real blonde mustache.
Okay.
Yeah. But shaved, sharper, not like the big bar mustache that he had. He has it go out. We'll look it up.
Yeah. Because I remember, because it was a weird time. What the hell's on his face? He was out of the blue, and I don't remember if he did it from the start or not.
It looked like shoe polish.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like. It looked like shoe polish.
Yeah, he was trying to hide the white streaks in there left over from Pat Patterson.
It wasn't shit. His. I swear to God, I'll try to find that picture so I can share it to me when I dyed my shit blonde and I did the Hollywood Hogan.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You should have done your shoe.
Nice.
So our first match is for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. Dean Malenko defending against Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio wins his first title. He Hurricane Rana's Dean Malenko, who's going for a tilt-a-whirl slam, and he Hurricane Rana's Malenko over and kind of hooks his legs while sitting on top of him, and he gets the 1-2-3 in a pretty good match, and definitely got the crowd excited.
Yeah. Two great workers right there.
Yeah. Yep.
Great way to start the show. Yeah.
And that's what, but you look at the card from Raw and Nitro, you had 3 matches on Raw and a whole bunch of crap. And then you come here and you start out with just a House of Fire with two cruiserweights, and it's a title match.
Right. This went head to head with Owen Hart versus Warrior, and I mean, at this point, people don't really care about Warrior. I mean, you turn on Nitro and there's this fast-paced match with these people doing moves you've never seen before, and there's a title on the line on top of it. For as good as Owen Hart was, he wasn't ever very exciting.
Mm-hmm. No. No, he was very very vanilla in his style.
Yeah. It's almost I don't know if this is the right way of putting it, but it's he knew the moves and he could perform them well, but he just wasn't a very good storyteller.
No, there was no showmanship to it, really.
Well, at that point, I'd agree. At that point, later on, he started to more, but I remember that time frame, and Warrior he's just a dick and can't wrestle to begin with.
Yeah.
No, he's trash. He is absolute garbage.
Mm-hmm.
God rest his soul.
Instead of interviewing the new cruiserweight champion, Gene Okerlund has the Steiners and the Nasty Boys backstage. They're not getting along. Whoever wins tonight between those two, I believe it's tonight, is going to get it's tonight. They're going to get a shot at the tag titles at the next pay-per-view. So, and what is that? Oh, yeah, it's Hog Wild, so we're going to Sturgis. So, bunch of outdoor shows coming up. I guess that they're just celebrating the summer. So, we get a Blood Runs Cold promo for Glacier.
That's happening soon.
He hasn't made his Nitro debut, but he made his WCW debut on one of the smaller.
Was it on like Saturday Night or Worldwide or something like that?
Worldwide.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was under the impression that he didn't debut until they had their Thursday show going.
No, it was before.
I always thought that too.
It was before Thunder.
Yeah, because that's not going to come along for a little while
until SmackDown starts. Because when SmackDown started, they pulled up Thunder.
Well, I think it was the other way around.
Was
Thunder,
it?
Yeah,
was Thunder first?
was on.
I can't remember.
Thunder was first, and then they started SmackDown on Thursdays, and Thunder moved to Wednesdays. Yeah, right, so WWF was already like getting back on top when they started SmackDown. So, Hugh Morris and Big Bubba with Jimmy Hart versus the Blue Bloods with Earl, Robert Eaton, and Jeeves. Yeah, they end up the Blue Bloods end up doing a double back suplex. Team up to Hugh Morris and get the 1, 2, 3. Yeah, then we get Eddie Guerrero versus Psychosis after a WCW Saturday Night commercial. They hyped up that show. And Eddie hits a frog splash on Psychosis for the win after about 9 minutes, which second great match of the show with Guerrero and Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. Well, and right there, you've got your opening 3 compared to the 3 matches that Raw had, and it's like these, even with the Blue Bloods, who Regal and Squire Taylor could still work. I didn't like Jeeves. I thought he was just kind of,
unnecessary.
You've got Bobby Eaton out there, so it's like you don't need, because he'd come out dressed in his suit, and then you got Jeeves dressed with a powdered wig on and shit. It just I don't know. I didn't dislike them as a tag team because they were a good heel team. Taylor, like I said, pairing Taylor with Regal worked because Taylor couldn't cut a promo. Regal really didn't have. He didn't talk that much back then. But they could both work, and Bubba Rogers, Big Boss Man, whatever you want to call him, he's a liability in the ring. But Hugh Morris, Bill DeMott, is a solid wrestler. So, he can handle the heavy lifting, let Big Bubba get in there and brawl a little bit here and there. And then, Guerrero and Psychosis. Jesus, dude, that's a lights out match. Psychosis, I think he's one of the most underrated guys in that sphere during that time. Him. Even more so, I loved La Parka just for his entertainment value, but Psychosis was entertaining and he could work. Like, I never thought he got over enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as he should have been pushed more than just a flashy, guy to job like that. It always pissed me off when they put Mysterio over on him because I honestly always thought Psychosis was a much better worker than Rey.
Well, what about that younger kid that came up, Juventud?
I love the Juice. He just had backstage problems.
I was going to say his attitude was his problem. And he was dangerous in the ring, too. But when they had him as The Rock, and he would use, the rock bottom, the Hoovy bot, or whatever they call it. Oh, my God. The Juice. Yep, that shit was so funny.
Yeah, that was top-tier Hoovy.
Yep. And he could work, but he needed he never got his shit straight backstage, and that's what cooked his goose in the Fed too when he went over there.
I think he showed up on AEW not too long ago, but was kind of he didn't look great, or he was a little rusty. I didn't see it myself. Yeah, I think. Let me Google that. Yeah, this was a special time. Like, I've been playing WWE 2K22 lately. It's first wrestling game I've gotten in a while. And yeah, Hoovy showed up on in 2021 on AEW.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Did they finally fix all the problems that they had with that shitty line of games? Because
I heard 2020 was horrible.
2020 is horrible.
What company was it that took over? Was it It was Take 2,
2K.
wasn't it? Yeah, Take Two. Take Two Entertainment, same ones that run the Rockstar games. When they took over from THQ, man, everything about that line of games just went downhill and went downhill.
Yeah.
They squared all that away.
So one reason I got this, number one, I didn't get the 2021. This is the first game I've had in a while. I got like 2016, the Stone Cold one. It took you through the Attitude Era. And that one was pissing me off. Like the submissions, I ended up
13
taking
was
it
my
back for store credit.
Favorite.
But yeah, this is the probably the best wrestling game to come out in years. Like they fixed the problems with 2020. They actually didn't do a 2021 because 2020 was so bad. They're like, all right, let's reboot stuff. So the controllers are better. They got rid of all the stupid mini games you'd have to do when they put you in a submission. It takes a little bit to get used to the controls, but it's a fun game. And you know what I wanted to bring up was they showcase Rey Mysterio Jr. in this one. And when you go to the showcase mode, it kind of takes you through his career and key matches. It starts with Eddie Guerrero when he just saw him win the Cruiserweight title now. Well, he'll win the Cruiserweight title again, Halloween Havoc 97 against Eddie Guerrero, who's trying to... Guerrero's a heel at this time. He's unmasking a lot of the luchadors, and he's trying to go after Rey Mysterio. So those are the stakes. But the problem with the showcase mode, it's fun, but that Eddie Guerrero match, out of all the memories I have of Rey Mysterio in WCW, which is my favorite time to be a Rey Mysterio Jr. fan.
Yeah, same.
That's the only match they have for it. And then we go into WWF and him fighting Batista and Undertaker and winning world titles. And I just wish we could have gotten more of the early stuff, you know? Like I would have gladly played.
Though I've seen what Flair looks like in it. He looks terrible. He doesn't even look like Flair.
I just unlocked Flair, so I haven't played as him yet. But yeah.
I'm just saying, could you imagine if some of these people actually were paying attention to the type of wrestling games that people want when they look at the stuff that they would like to see? Like, could you imagine if they actually went out of their way and they created a Monday Night Wars type of game for wrestling? That thing would be hot.
Well, if the AEW game is as impressive as they're saying it's going to be, because it's got Ukes back and the guy who worked on No Mercy. And if it is anything that they're hyping it up to be, it is going to destroy this new WWE game.
One cool thing about this game is like you can create an arena, you can create championships, you can create wrestlers, their entrances, themes. So, and you can download too other people's creations. Anything I look for on there, they have the AEW arena set up for Dynamite or Rampage. They have Kenny Omega, who looks just like him. They have the AEW titles that look spot on. Like you can play AEW on this WWE game. Like it's,
and you know what's funny is, you know, Take Two kind of acts like they did all that. They took all that from the people from THQ because they started doing that before Take Two took over. Because they were giving you the ability to create belts. And you know, and God, don't even get me started on that freaking customization suite. I spent probably like time-wise, I probably spent months in there creating characters for other people online because they see me create a few characters. It's like, dude, you did an awesome job with that. And I said, oh, thanks, man. I was just screwing around with it. I got plenty of time. I'm disabled. Got nothing better to do. So they're like, man, you think you can create me a few female wrestlers? Like, yeah, sure. What do you want? Well, I got a few porn actresses in mind. Yeah. The amount of time that I spent researching exactly what they look like and their tattoos and everything, months worth of work.
I bet. And tunnel carpal syndrome. And tennis elbow. All at once.
One cool thing about this too, and I haven't really delved into it yet, but I'm gonna make like a Pete Daddy Dollar, I'm gonna make a Draven, I'm gonna make us as wrestlers. You can upload face pictures and it'll apply. And because of that, you know, when you go into the downloads and you go to like the most downloaded or most well-liked, you know, create a wrestlers, they have everyone there. And I mean, not just wrestlers. You can go through and find whatever wrestler you want. But I have Thanos, Captain America, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman. Like, it's really, this is impressive. And I know they didn't.
Can you play through the story with your like in-depth create a character, or did they make it where you get like bare minimum creating power to go through the story?
I haven't gone into the actual. When I went into the My Universe, it had me create a guy, and I was kind of trying to hurry too because, reasons. So I don't know what that create a wrestler is like compared to going into the creations suite and doing it. But I was messing around with the like it's cool. Like I was gonna make a MAGA championship. I downloaded the Make America Great Again logo, and like you can make all kinds of stuff in it. So it's cool. Again, I haven't had a wrestling game since 2016, and even then I played it for about an hour or two. I fucking rage quit because the submission system was just god awful.
So it was in the last game. I'm like getting a submission hole. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I don't even understand this.
I was getting
what happened
mad.
to
I'm
basics?
like, I've been playing wrestling games my whole fucking life, and I couldn't figure that out.
Yeah.
Since WrestleMania on NES, you know.
Yeah. Which I think everyone on that cover is dead now, besides Hogan. I think.
Yeah, that's probably isn't Ted DiBiase on that?
Maybe
he's alive.
I think. Yeah, he's still alive.
So they still have the create a move too.
I think. I'll have to double check on that.
Yeah, because I remember when they added that. I think they added that to 2012. THQ did.
Well, then I
got 13. Yeah, man, they really took it over the top with all the different things you could do in the moves, like all the different. You could change their body positions or change how fast or how slow you actually. There was a lot there.
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, I got homework for you, Tony. Next time you put it on, make JR and make his wrestling move the barbecue.
Hell yeah.
I also miss being able to upload my own intro music to the game.
Yeah. I think you can't do that. You can create an entrance. I saw that, but I think that's just, their gestures and what they do when they come out, if they run to the ring or whatever. But I don't think you can upload your own music, which sucks.
Thanks. Yeah, because they used to have that like 13.
Yep.
I know they had it in 13, and you could actually do all the stuff with the stage too, because it was actually your entrance was set up in about 4 or 5 different parts. Like there was the initial banner flash and whatever you're going to have before your character steps out. When your character steps onto the top stage, if there's going to be fireworks, whatever name tags you're going to have with a Titantron or whatever, then there was actually the walk to the ring was a whole separate system. And then they had how you walked around, like maybe you walked around the ring before you got up on the ropes or however you did it. Yep. And then they would actually, there was one more after that. There was how you actually got in the ring. And then whatever your pose was at the end when you're standing in the middle.
Nice.
Like there was an awful lot to it. I mean, it was amazing all the shit they put in those games. That was because it was done by fans who really appreciated wrestling and everything that was in it.
Speaking of THQ or Ukes or whoever was making it back then, this is the first game since I think SmackDown versus Raw 2008 where they have the My GM mode. So you get to run your own brand. Oh, nice. You can choose between SmackDown, Raw, or NXT. And Vinny, by the way, I played a match for you the other day. I was actually sending clips over to Etep. I'm like, I just wanted to do an exhibition match with the Nitro arena that I downloaded. And I'm like, and you can even change the referee to a Nitro ref. But I'm like, who should I play? Ended up being Roddy Piper against John Cena. Dude, I smoked his ass and made him tap out to the sleeper, dude. I was sending Etep little clips of it and shit. Like, I beat John Cena's ass with Roddy Piper. Awesome. Yeah.
That I love. Hell yeah. So that's how you do it.
He submitted to China.
Yeah.
She shall.
That he did.
She shall. Sure.
Taiwan, Taiwan.
She shall. Putin, she nuke. Sorry. I have too much fun with that shit.
We're sorry, Mama Susan.
It's like, I stand with Ukraine and Taiwan's over here. Like, I guess we'll go fuck ourselves.
Taiwan automatically became Jonah Hill and Superbad and just was like, fuck me, right?
So, yeah. So
you
next,
guys, I was gonna say you guys are all talking about this, and I'm happy. Me and Trey were over here playing No Mercy earlier, and we won the tag titles as the Dudleys. So I had and I gave them their old purple and shirts and overalls. So I introduced them to what the 3D was today because we did it in the game. We beat Canyon and Glacier for the tag straps, and yeah, it was funny because I was like watching, and I put on a highlight reel of the Dudleys hitting people with 3Ds, and I'm like, let's not watch the ECW Heatwave '98 promo, Trey. That's a little much for you. But and that's right after I messaged Tony. I'm like almost in tears, going, I wish my kid could see me wrestle just once. God damn it.
It's okay, Goldberg. You can make a comeback one more time. I mean, never mind.
By the time I come back, I'll be old. I'll be Oldberg.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Chris, I
Etep,
feel
I
you,
couldn't
man.
help myself.
I have more moves in my arsenal than Goldberg does. And even as out of shape as I am now, I could probably still work longer than 2 minutes. That Goldberg, man, his match got to be over in 2 minutes.
Wow.
You know, that was the thing with him. He couldn't work more than that, or he'd get blown up. I mean, that match with Regal really
Regal. Yeah.
To bring it back to Nitro, Regal exposed him, and WCW was pissed. They were pissed.
Here's what sucks. Goldberg's best match he ever had was Halloween Havoc 98 against Diamond Dallas Page.
Yep.
And most people, I was there in the arena, and I mean, that shit had, when Page hit the Diamond Cutter, I mean, I involuntarily was on my feet like, holy shit. But the pay-per-view cut off for everyone else, so they showed it the next night on Nitro, but the air was out of the balloon. Everyone knew who won, so you didn't get the same experience of watching it live. And it's a shame because one man brought Goldberg up to that upper echelon level. I mean, I've been talking about wanting to do a watch party for like Shawn Michaels and Taker at WrestleMania 25. That's another match, is DDP and Goldberg that I'd like to do a little watch party for.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Damn, I did not like Goldberg whatsoever, and that match was I still feel like that's where he should have dropped the title. You know, I know Starrcade was 2 months away, but it could have either happened there or with the cattle prong at Starrcade, and we know Starrcade didn't really go over very well. So that was Page's time, because when they did finally give him the world title, they had turned him heel. Like, why would you do that? Everyone's been waiting for him to reach that level. So that would have put Page over as a huge star. Like, he probably would have been treated different in WWF had they put him over at Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, because when they finally brought him over and they had him involved with the Undertaker and his wife and everything, nobody really knew who he was for the most part. WWF fans.
He jobbed out to Undertaker's wife. I mean, Undertaker just beat the shit out of him. Like,
it felt like they brought him in just to make fun of him and get rid of him.
Yeah. Just
the butt of the joke.
Vince didn't like
Hunter's little thing where they have to bury anything they didn't create. So bring Sting in just to beat him. You know.
Oh yeah, the NWO versus DX thing. What that was it's like, first of all, Sting ain't even in the fucking NWO. So what are you doing? Sting was in a goddamn wolf pack. Like, this is not the same thing you're doing here. Like, it was stupid. It was just stupid. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Let's just jump back on this, round out this week.
Yep.
So where do we leave off? Eddie Guerrero and Psychosis, with Guerrero winning with the frog splash.
Yep, we had Scotty and Ricky versus the Nasty Boys for the #1 contendership.
before that, Gene Okerlund interviews the Dungeon of Doom. The Giant, Kevin Sullivan, and Jimmy Hart, and this was interesting because they're getting into a little kind of a weird program with the Horsemen because they're both supposed to be heels, but right now something bigger than that is the NWO making its debut, and Hulk Hogan is brought up. Jimmy Hart has nothing to say. Sullivan basically took away from him what he had been trying to end for the last 18 months. Hogan took that away from Sullivan, and he killed Hulkamania himself. And Giant tells everyone, look, there's no reason to worry. As long as I hold this title, WCW is going to be just fine. And they're not going to take the title from me. I'm the one who beat Hogan for this title last October. Yeah, and then did you want to do this one, Etep, the Steiners and Nasty Boys?
Oh, no, go ahead, man. Go ahead. I was just going to say, I feel like the Nasty... I'm not a huge Nasty Boys fan. I never was. Right. They had their spot because Knobs was Hogan's boy. Yeah. That was that nepotism.
That's why that was his name, because he was knob shining Hogan.
Yeah. it's just like I feel like the Steiners got like, I don't know, the Steiners could pull a decent match out of the Nasties.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like pay-per-view worthy. It was okay for TV.
No. And that's why with all the other guys WCW has in their roster, it's like that a better number one contender match you could have had, for Scotty and Rick. I mean, I would rather see the American males than the Nasty Boys, because Scotty Riggs and Buff Marcus, could work. The Nasty Boys were just, the match with them, versus the Public Enemy and a bunch of garbage cans. That's about what the extent of that. They've got they do basic moves and a lot of hardcore shit, and that was it. Scotty and Rick. But, those two are obviously technically proficient, and this is still pre-Scotty heel turn, which was probably one of my favorite frickin' heel turns to the NWO was Steiner. Outside of the original.
Etep, I think part of that reason why that happened, too, is because you've seen a lot of those teams coming up, because they took one element that the Road Warriors did, the Legion of Doom, whatever you want to call them. They took one element of their wrestling style, which was the brawler type style, and then they tried to just get a bunch of teams to imitate that without all the rest of the things that they could do.
Yeah.
And that's why you start seeing teams like that, and Axis Smash and Demolition and all these other teams that came up that did very basic and minimal shit in the ring.
Oh, yeah. Demolition, Bill Eadie and, I can't think of Owen's name, but no, they were just a carbon copy of the Road Warriors in like BDSM gear, I was kind of like, as a kid, I thought their Demolition had like a cool theme song, and they look kind of badass. Yeah. But I grew up with the Road Warriors. It was like that was my until Hall and Nash formed the Outsiders. It was always the Road Warriors for me.
I think that's why I like the Dudley Boys so much, because they kind of carved their own path. Like they showed, hey, a team can also be this, and they were perfect together. Like one of the biggest mistakes Vince made with the Dudleys is the biggest with the Dudleys is splitting them up and sending them on different brands. Like they are meant to be.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, they came back for a little bit. Remember, they were just fucking dominating and helping out all the younger talent as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Then they went to TNA and they did the same thing there. They were Team 3D, and they still, they were awesome. That was one of my favorite things about TNA, was seeing those two back together and some of the bloody feuds they had over there. And like I said, man, they're outside of like the Outsiders, and like I said, the Road Warriors. Yeah, Dudleys are up there. There's been I like I like the Midnight Express, but I was always more of a fan of tag team wrestling. I
used to love the Eliminators in ECW.
Oh, Saturn and Cronus, Jesus, dude,
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do some members content and talk about ECW, back to the Eastern Championship Wrestling days. But yeah, Saturn never got a full he got screwed over in the Fed, big time. But to bring this back to the Steiners, well, the Steiners, they go over in this for the #1 contendership.
Yeah, because Sherry distracts the ref, and Colonel Parker nails Brian Knobbs with a pipe, just like Vinny had inferred. Yeah. He piped him with a knob or something. I don't know.
And this next match was there a segment here? Because I can't remember if there was a segment on this one.
Well,
interview in between.
Yeah, okay. So Mean Gene interviews the Nasty Boys because Brian Knobbs is friends with Hogan, and Knobbs says, it's kind of like the NWO is kind of like the Nasty Boys. They do whatever they want, whenever they want. So he's not really mad at Hogan. He just doesn't know what to say. And then that's when we go into hour 2. Bischoff and Heenan are now on commentary. The fireworks start, which is pretty cool because in this next match, the fireworks are still kind of going in the background, and you would think it would be distracting, but it added something to it. And even better, the fireworks were going off during his entrance. WCW US Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair comes out, and his music is playing, and the fireworks are going way high in the sky, and he's got Elizabeth, Deborah, and Woman with him, and he's facing Jim Powers.
One of my favorite jobbers, Jim Powers, former tag team partner of Paul Roma and the Young Stallions. And a future Four Horsemen member for a short time, Paul Roma. This was did anybody ever think that Jim Powers was even, you know what I mean? It's like, how
just, you could end it with, did anyone ever think Jim Powers? And no.
Yeah.
No.
Kudos to him for getting booked into that match, because for him, that's a huge match. It really is.
Yeah.
You're working semi main on a huge Nitro outdoors, and you got to go 541 with the Nature Boy. That's not bad for a fucking career jobber.
No.
Really, it's not.
But it was a squash match. I mean, this was Flair for all 5 minutes and 40 seconds, and including the figure 4 at the end. I mean, Flair fucked him up. Woman never looks hotter than when she's grabbing Flair's hand and leveraging him when he has someone in the figure 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's fuck yeah.
Yep.
So the Horsemen, besides Chris Benoit, they interview with Mean Gene and talk about Hogan. Arn says, look, the difference is the Horsemen never pretended or claimed to be role models, but Hogan did, and that's why he's scum. Mongo mentions the Apocalypse is here, and Flair doesn't even concern himself. He kind of no-sells it and just lets us all know the champ can go all night long, and woos into the camera a little bit, which this is weird because they go to a commercial break and come back, and then Chris Benoit comes out. Why didn't he just come out with the interview with you guys and then go to the ring from there? But he comes out to the Horseman music and all. He fights against Sergeant Craig Pittman with Teddy Long, locks Pittman in the crippler crossface, and Pittman won't tap out. So Teddy Long, fat Teddy Long, had to jump into the ring and kind of throw in the white towel, and the ref rings the bell. Sting versus Arn Anderson. Now word is on the street while this match is going on that Hall and Nash are on the premises. Sting actually defeats Arn with the Scorpion Deathlock, and
Nash should have changed his name to Oates.
yes.
Hall and Oates.
Fucking Gene Okerlund grabs a word with Sting. This was a great Sting promo. He says he should have known that Hogan would be the third man when Hulk didn't want to travel with Savage, Luger, and himself. Hulk was too busy making movies and coming in for little cameo appearances. And when Hulk was walking on the dark side, Sting says he should have known then. But yeah, so after this, they go to another little commercial, and then the Outsiders show up. They try to walk to the ring. Sting's in there calling them out. And Gene Okerlund interviews him, and Nash puts Hogan over, says he'll be on Nitro next week. Yeah, so they just kind of tease tension between the good guys in the NWO, and that's kind of how it goes off. And I want to say, too, not only did Nitro beat Raw by an entire ratings point, but like idiots, like at the beginning of the show, I think when Rey Mysterio and Dean Malenko were wrestling, Tony Schiavone and Hulk Hogan won't be here tonight. Like, that's what everybody's tuning in for, but they got people to stay at least, so.
Yeah, why the hell would they have said that?
Yeah, I would have waited till like this 2-hour mark or something to say it. Like,
well, do you suppose? Because remember when they first had the problems with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash showing up, they were saying on a couple of those shows early on, well, they're not going to come in here and not going to disrupt the show tonight, so you're not going to see. Maybe they were using reverse psychology.
Yeah, I think so.
They did all the time. So.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, and they. Let the spray painting begin. That was one of my. We did that. We did the spray painting to somebody.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that to start. The real hell raising.
Glinzer, I think he says we're Hall and Nash the first to jump to another company with their real names instead of using new fake ones. I think it was. That's why it was so revolutionary for them, because it was just like, you know who we are, but you don't know why we're here. And then, they come out and they're just calling themselves by their shoot names, and I think that was the creative genius behind this angle, was that it was, and people didn't, people back then, it's like a lot of people didn't know that it was a work, and that's why, they come out and had to say, we don't work for, they don't work for WWF or whatever, but it was like, well, who the hell, okay, so if they're not, they're trying to tear down WCW, so that's what made the angle, that's what the kayfabe was still alive back then, and that's what gave this angle so much heat.
Vince was like, that's dangerous misinformation.
It's a threat to our democracy. Quick, somebody invent Facebook and get them banned.
Yeah,
check them off the platform.
Sting did guest star on Tropical Thunder. Alec Arcane, and nice to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna. I'm not sure if it was this week or next week, but when they come out and interrupt Lex Luger's match or whatever, and I thought they were gonna spray paint his back, but they didn't.
Yeah,
I know.
So in between these weeks now, actually July 14th, 1996 is the 9th WWE In Your House International Incident. Okay. This pay-per-view doesn't have a WWE title match on this show. Instead, they're going with the 6-man tag where Shawn Michaels, Ahmed Johnson, and their mystery partner Psycho Sid. And remember, Shawn's WWF champ, Ahmed's Intercontinental champ. They're going against British Bulldog, Owen, Hart, and Vader. So, that's the main event of tonight. Damn. it says here they did 90,000 pay-per-view buys, which is like not
back then. That was not good.
Yeah. Not a wonderful show. It was taking place in Vancouver, British Columbia. And see here. Yeah. So anyway, the first match of the night, Smoking Guns versus the Body Donnas, and the Smoking Guns do have Sonny with them. The Body Donnas get some retribution when basically Skip jumps off the ropes with the missile drop kick, hits Bart. Zip lands on top of Bart, and they get the pinfall win right after 13 minutes. This wasn't, again, no titles on the line. I don't know why they wouldn't put the tag titles on the line, because Smoking Guns are champs. But
yeah, that's weird.
It makes no sense.
No titles on the line tonight. So, Camp Cornette was interviewed by Mr. Perfect. They went over the footage from earlier in the night with Vader and Michaels having a conversation after the most electrifying manager in sports entertainment, Jose Lothario, punched Jim Cornette.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, isn't that Shawn Michaels' manager?
Yeah.
The guy that trained him?
Yep.
Old Man River.
Teach these kids. Yes.
How do I teach these kids? Fucking Edward James Olmos and shit.
I hate that guy.
Next, we get Mankind versus Henry Godwin. Mankind wins this by submission on little under 7 minutes. He locked in the mandible claw.
Yeah.
Godwin brother passes out, and he had better TV matches so far, Mankind, than this pay-per-view match. It wasn't fantastic. Next up, it's time for King of the Ring, Stone Cold Steve Austin, who has Stone Cold written on the back of his trunks, going up against the Wild Man Mark Merrow with the very lovely Sable. Austin was the heel in this. Merrow was the baby face. And if you notice in King of the Ring 1996, Austin has stitches in his lip. He's pretty busted up. He had to go to the hospital and then come back to fight Jake Roberts and win the tournament. That was because of his semifinal match against Mark Merrow. So there's a little bit of history between them. Austin goes for a stunner. Merrow blocks it by holding the ropes. Merrow hits a slingshot leg drop for 2. But Austin chop blocks the back of Merrow's left knee and then gets the stunner in about 10 minutes and 45 seconds, and he gets the pinfall. Pretty good match. This is back when Stone Cold could actually wrestle and move around before someone intentionally broke his neck.
Piece of shit, Owen Hart.
I guess, too, when Martha Hart...
God rest his soul.
Yeah. When Martha Hart wrote a book about him a couple years ago, she said that Owen used to say he thinks Austin faked that injury, which only leads more credence to my theory that maybe Owen wasn't being as careful as he could be.
No, he definitely wasn't. I mean, how many other people have done that move and done it, made it look a lot better than what he was doing, and have done it safely? I mean, look,
and
if you want to look no further and somebody who's done it safely for decades, look at freaking Mark Calloway. With that freaking move, there's a lot more damage you can do bringing somebody that far down to the ground as opposed to a freaking regular pile driver. No, he was sloppy and he was lazy. He was sloppy and lazy.
On top of it, too, Owen
was jealous.
He was a shorter guy on top of it compared to those other guys. So, Undertaker, he's got the height, and he could really make sure you're going to be all right. But, Owen, from what they said, too, that he didn't even want to be in the business anymore, well, then he should have left. Yeah. You know? Why stay there longer? Man. If you hated it, you want to be with your kids.
Might still be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
we wouldn't play the Owen Hart tribute song. What if I feel 15 stories? You know, every time we talk about him. No, he was lazy. He wasn't that. He was he wasn't that good. He wasn't that good of a worker. He was vanilla, and
he was good enough to not make that mistake, though.
He was good enough not to make that mistake. Yeah, I think he was the least talented Hart. You know, I was never a fan. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I was sad when he died, obviously, but you know, I'm not that callous of a person. Sometimes cases are individually based, but no,
pretend we were into him or something when he was around. Like,
well, it was always
the only time I ever liked him when he was tagging with Jeff Jarrett, because that's the only time I think he ever actually got over was because of Jeff Jarrett. You know what I mean? Because they were so mismatched as a tag team, it worked.
They put him in the Nation, like just the only white boy walking around. Like,
when the Nation is, as I've said many times, was started by freaking Jamie Dundee's dad down in USWA, Bill Dundee.
Yeah. So we get footage of Bob Backlund in the crowd campaigning and talking to fans. They're really stretching that storyline out.
They have been since 1983 with him.
So I guess they changed the match because it was supposed to be Michaels versus Billy Gunn and Ahmed versus Bart Gunn tomorrow on Raw, but they get a commercial on the pay-per-view that says the Smoking Guns, who didn't defend their titles tonight, will be defending them tomorrow against Michaels and Johnson. So next, Goldust makes his.
Why not just have them be defended tonight?
Yeah, instead of this shit 6-man tag.
Yeah.
So
they couldn't help themselves.
Yeah. Fucking Goldust makes his way out with Marlena. Taker makes his way out with Paul Bearer. And yeah, Undertaker wins this match via DQ when Mankind interferes from under the ring. He comes out from under the ring, pulls Taker under the ring with the mandible claw, and basically sets up, they're going to announce the Boiler Room Brawl at SummerSlam the next day. So it wasn't a wonderful match, Taker and Goldust. Probably would have been better if they had an actual finish, but I don't think it was weird in the first place because Mankind's been attacking Taker for weeks, like transcending monthly pay-per-views, and then they just set up Goldust versus Taker. Like, okay, so I don't think the fans' hearts were in this. I don't think the wrestlers' hearts were in this
because nobody liked Goldust. He literally, it's because he was Pat Patterson's toy and Vince's toy. He's also a cuck. It's just a douchebag. I mean, it was so annoying, man. Every time he was there, I changed the channel. I did not watch any of his matches. I thought it was so stupid.
No. I watched a lot of his stuff like later on or on replays or tapes because that was I was watching WCW pretty much almost exclusively and like recording, Raw, and then I'd go back and watch it like the next day or a couple days later, unless it was like something, I heard was really big, especially like around the, Austin time. But this Goldust was never a draw for me. It was like,
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Every time Goldust came out to the ring, I was glued to the TV because the way she smoked cigars.
Yep,
I was infatuated with that. As far as like watching the action in the ring, who cares? I'm talking about what's outside the ring, fellas. Pay attention to what matters when you're watching these shows, please.
And that's Terry was just as
she was
just as hot in person. Hey, buddy, why don't you come on in?
So
join.
Let me get through this real quick before we get too off topic. What's up, Mini Etep? Real quick, everyone. So Mankind comes back out from under the ring, gets in with Goldust and Marlena. The lights begin to flicker, and some white smoke starts pouring out from under the ring, and Taker emerges from the other side to probably the pop of the night. And Undertaker punched Mankind, and they went brawling up the aisle. First time Taker's really gotten a chance to hold his own against Mankind.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
I thought when the lights went out, there was going to be a 3-way in the ring, and I was so disappointed.
You're talking about Terry again, right?
Sure. Of course.
Make it like a page video. Like, holy shit.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, man?
What up? What
Say
up?
hi to everybody.
Hi. I got a special guest.
Oh.
It's today. Today is the day.
What, here, I'll put it in. That's what she said.
Sorry.
What's up, Ice Hawk?
What's up, Fire Turkey?
Did you have fun at the water park?
Yes.
Tell them what you did.
I went down the dropper.
Dude, it like drops you straight down and through
Holy
this
crap.
like big ass tube. I wouldn't even do it. And he was like, pfft.
Yeah, I got this.
Yeah, he did. He went with his little friend's mom. She took him over there to it, and look at we got Psycho Sid behind us.
Can I sit in your lap?
No, you got to go back to bed, goofball.
No, Dad, can I sit in your lap?
No.
At least one time.
Say hi to the chat.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm trying to
hey,
put it right there. So...
Stop.
Okay.
No,
Today is the day for.
Okay. All right. Say hi to everybody and good night. And you got to go back to bed.
No, I'm gonna stay up longer.
This guy.
Yeah,
All right, man. Go ahead. I'm gonna get him moving. Tony, say good night.
Cool.
Good night, and
Good night,
it's
buddy.
me, Vinny. It's me. Oh, Daddy, I need to be right back.
No, you're done.
And you're cut off.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
See, I am being good. I am not saying what I wanted to say, and I'm leaving it in the private chat. I am being a good pig right now.
Good
I
man,
brought
Tommy.
2
Okay.
toys.
All right. Go ahead. Show it your little toys you got today.
Yeah, what'd you
You
get?
know, they're called It's Me, Mario.
Oh, nice.
Here. It's
all about the
he
Mario.
got it. Yeah, he got that Mario and a little
Nice.
Princess
Mario
Peach.
Kart. Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. We just
So,
played
there
the
you-
new tracks on Mario Kart 8.
Okay.
I haven't gotten a chance to play those yet.
Daddy, who else is in
Well, I loved it because I loved
Draven.
64 and they have Choco Mountain from there.
Me and Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 64 is my favorite. I wish the mechanics
Go
of the
ahead,
game
you're
were the
here.
same as 64, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's Draven,
Hi, Draven.
Hey.
Tommy,
Hi, Tommy.
and Vinny,
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hi, Vinny.
and Tony.
Hey, Trey.
Hi, Fire Turkey.
Hi, Ice Hawk.
Okay, Mom's here with the hook. Here you go. Here's Tails.
Mom has got a hook. So, speaking of a hook, now it's time for that 6-man tag main event. Shawn Michaels, Ahmed Johnson, and Psycho Sid making his re-debut for WWF versus Camp Cornette, Bulldog, Vader, and Owen Hart. For some reason, I mean, I guess it's to hype up fucking SummerSlam, but Camp Cornette wins. When Vader hits the Vader bomb off the ropes to pin WWF champion Shawn Michaels in a shade under 25 minutes of this shit.
Jesus.
So the
Wow,
big
that's
takeaway, Vader pinned Michaels, and that's gonna be the second biggest pay-per-view of the year. Like, we go from an Iron Man match with Brett and Shawn, which Brett hasn't been back since then, to Vader and Shawn Michaels. So good
Is he
times.
injured?
He I wonder why he took time off. In the show, he's just kind of like kayfabing, like he lost a little faith in the WWF and had mentioned he wasn't going to be back for a while, but maybe he was
probably an
injured.
injury.
Yeah.
An injury and a divorce.
And I'm glad you left me on solo so I could talk about my new hairdo. I'm the leader of the world, and I have half the brain that you do.
You have what?
And I have the brain is cheating.
What a retard.
Mario thing. Yeah.
That was great. Did he catch himself or he just like, oh, shit.
No. Didn't you see how serial he was about that?
Yeah.
Like Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were like, Nash had a little Psycho Sid mask on, but they were just fucking rolling in the ring.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. Good times. Psycho Sid, he like, what a waste. Like, if he could have gotten better at the promos and like could actually speak like an adult, yeah, like he could have been really good.
His power bomb always looked good, but he had to do more stuff.
Yep. The best spots he did were in ECW, where he would come out, squash, or Judge Jeff Jones would come out first with the stretcher.
Yeah.
And then the crowd, there wouldn't even be any music, and Sid would just walk down, and somebody was gonna take a choke slam or a power bomb and go out on that stretcher. You know what I mean? That was the best. That was the best one he did, man. Was that the spots in ECW right there. Then the Dudley, he had that rivalry with the Dudleys. They were attacking him and shit. It was fuck. That was it for him. Like WCW, he didn't. The Millennium Man, he had that match with Nash, and then obviously we all know about the leg break. But I mean, he was just.
That was WCW, the leg break.
Yeah, against Scott Steiner. They told him to jump off the second rope, and he went to do a boot.
Oh, wow.
No, that was WCW.
And he came down on 1 foot like an idiot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That run was so awful.
Yeah, that
the
was
Millennium Man, like complete God. Yeah, and then, considering how this Millennium is gone so far, maybe he is.
He's he's still smarter than our current. He's smarter than Brandon. I mean, he's smarter than Brandon.
That is true. Remember, he's got half a brain. The other one doesn't. Brains.
So this next Raw, I'm pretty sure the last one came from Green Bay, Wisconsin, and yet after the pay-per-view, this one is too. Yep.
Well, every once in a while, don't they still do that to this day? Like, they'll have a big pay-per-view in some town, and then they'll follow it up with a regular show?
Oh, I think I'm tripping. I could have sworn.
What, they were both at the Brown? They were both.
I did. I forgot I watched that first Raw, so I watched the two Raws. This is actually the go-home show for the pay-per-view we just read, so sorry, guys. That's why I'm like, why is Shawn and Ahmed teaming up for the tag titles and they're supposed to fight these guys separate? So, yeah, this happened before. I'm sorry, this Raw. Okay. We'll just bust through it real quick. Ahmed Johnson versus Bart Gunn for the Intercontinental title. Ahmed hits the Pearl River Plunge. They hype up the pay-per-view a bit. Mark Merrow versus TL Hopper. Steve Austin's brought in on split screen to cut a promo. Merrow ends up getting the win. Yeah, and the Eddie Guerrero and Benoit are on Nitro right now, putting on a classic. And here we get Mark Merrow and TL Hopper. Jim Cornette cuts a promo. They're going to win at the pay-per-view. They do. WWF champion Shawn Michaels versus Billy Gunn. Shawn retains with Sweet Chin Music. Yeah, and then Psycho Sid does something to fucking Jim Cornette, and we go into the pay-per-view that we just read. So, sorry about that, guys. Now I've watched Raw for next week, and that's where they'll start hyping up SummerSlam, obviously.
Well, Tony, I don't know, from the sound of it, sounds like you've been there before, because you said you had to bust through this real quick, and I could have swore I heard some fingernails on the table behind you tapping. So, no worries. No worries.
Corpse of Pat Patterson.
Oh shit!
Scary times. So yeah, now we're on Nitro again. Disney MGM Studios, and just they did garner a 3.4 this week compared to Raw's 2.6. So a little better. Feels like 0.1% of the audience moved from Nitro to Raw this week for the go-home show with the pay-per-view. All the major WCW stars, Flair, Savage, Sting, Giant, they're in New Japan. So they're not going to be here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you know what I would have loved to have seen if they would have had that data? Like every time that they were running these shows, a lot of times when these shows went to a commercial break, usually the other show was still going. I wonder how many people switched over in between commercials. Like if their main show was WCW, how many switched over during those commercials to watch WWF? I would have loved to have seen that.
And then how many get stuck on what's on the show on the other side and then forget to change back after a few minutes, They let 10, 20 minutes go by. Yeah. So, hour one, Shivani and Sabisco. They start the program by showing actual footage instead of just stills of Hogan turning a heel at Bash at the Beach. We get Rick and Scott Steiner versus Fire and Ice, who just got together a couple months ago. They said they were a great team, brought him out there to lose, then brought him out there to have no contest and shit. I still haven't seen a decisive victory from them on a Monday night. But now they're teasing the breakup of Fire and Ice. So what an incredible journey we've been on.
Teddy Long is trying to interject.
Yeah, he's like, you guys are a great tag team. He's like, I don't want to see you break up. So Scott Steiner kicked his ass. Yeah. So, and that's, of course, after they lose to the Steiner brothers, who are going on to face Harlem Heat for the titles at Hog Wild.
Actually, the Steiners beat Fire and Ice in their debut, if I'm not mistaken, as well, Tony.
Yeah.
Remember that? They made a big deal. And I never gave a shit about what's his name, Ice Train or whatever his name is. I was always a Scott Norton fan. Okay, well, I'll go with that. Not only was he a shitty worker, but he was also, never mind. No, but he was also a blick. No, but no, he was just there. The guy was like, he was just there.
He was a less talented Mark Henry.
Yeah, sure. It was like, he was like, if Corn Pop was a wrestler, he would have been Ice Train. Corn Pop was a bad dude. No, Norton.
More going
go ahead. No, Norton just never got his just due. He had a couple nice little, mid card deals, but never anything substantive that he had in New Japan or IWGP, where he's like the world heavyweight champion.
I really thought for sure they were going to do more with him when they started messing with him and Bagwell when they joined the NWA. I thought they were going to do more, and it never materialized.
Yeah, Vicious and Delicious, man. That's they had a good gimmick. They had a good contrast of styles together and personalities. But no, they never did enough with the team. And Alec Arcane, he was huge in Japan. They loved him over there because he could work that strong style, which is prevalent over there. So, to see them job him out consistently, albeit to the Steiners, is still, it undervalues, him as a worker totally.
Yeah. Yes. So, we get the Fire and Ice match. They jobbed the Steiners again. Then we get Gene Okerlund interviewing the Dungeon of Doom, who tell the Four Horsemen they're out of time. The Dungeon of Doom is coming for them. Bubba has a TV title match tonight against Lex Luger, and he tells Luger not to worry about Hogan or Sting or his detached retina and concussion that Luger suffered at the pay-per-view. He needs to worry about Bubba. Good times. We get a Glacier commercial, and then we get Dean Malenko versus Billy Kid, cis heteronormative male. Dean Malenko defeats Billy Kidman via submission with the Texas Cloverleaf. A little over 5 minutes in. Good match.
Yeah, I never realized that Billy Kidman was in like this early. Like I thought he didn't come in till later, but I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, like he was kind of. Now he really got his break, like the week after he left Raven's flock. He went out there and won the cruiserweight title, and that's when he really got put on the map. But yeah, he was kind of just one of their generic luchas, one of their generic cruiserweights they had. I don't want to say lucha, but cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Kevin Green, boring. Kevin Green shows up, calls out Steve Mongo McMichael, who doesn't come out yet.
Where's he at? I got a plane to catch. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Where's he at?
Like you could tell it's the B team tonight. Like they'll have a name versus a jobber basically all night. You have the tag champions Harlem Heat versus Rough and Ready.
Oh. Okay, so I can say this about Mike Enos, who when he came up with Wayne Bloom in Minnesota, and they were actually like co-rookies of the year in like 1990 or 91. And we've seen Mike Enos as the Mauler. I think he came out it with Colonel Robert Parker. And they
Parker is their manager
their
too.
Manager. Yeah, but Dick Slater at this point is like a leftover 80s gimmick that's there in like 1996.
Well, even the name.
You know, not to discount him as a worker, but just the whole overall facade of his gimmick, just nothing about it fit in at all.
They had some bad wrestlers. Like they really, I don't mean bad like they couldn't get in there and do their job, but just people who shouldn't, just charisma voids. Like why did you get into this industry if you don't even know how to fucking wave at the fans or something?
Right.
Yeah.
How'd they even get there?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you remember how strict they used to be.
Oh, dude. Like, somebody like me, how I got into the business, that wouldn't have happened in the 90s. Like, not unless... and I kind of knew some people, but I literally, I kind of walked in, I kind of walked in the back door. But I trained, I got fully trained and everything. Was it an unconventional...
You weren't, like... one of these fucking real cheap WCW wrestlers either. Like you could at least say something in the mic or something. Like and you're doing commentary. Like some of these guys, they're so fucking vanilla. Like so bland.
I guarantee you, if you look at some of my promo work I did in the last 2 years of my career, it's better than a lot of the guys that were doing that. These guys like you're talking about that would cut these they would try to cut these generic like I'm a heel or I'm a baby like Craig Pittman. Like I could sit there now and get into gimmick and totally like get right back into that mindset where some people you either have that or you don't.
Right.
What makes them be a wrestler? Like they obviously don't have it.
Ego. They want to. They think that that's the way they're gonna. That's their claim to fame.
Right.
I saw guys like that and we still see them on TV. It's like, what the hell are you doing here? Like you're not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how many of those people came over from MMA or they came over from football and they figured, oh, well, this is just going to be an easy pickup for me because this isn't really any kind of sports. And then they get in there and they find out that it actually requires real work, and then they get scared to death.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or they get injured. But yeah, I was gonna say the other thing was like you said, ego, or like Pat Patterson, he just wanted to touch other men who were all greased up.
Yes. He didn't care about their personality.
Yeah. His favorite wrestler, by the way, was Dick Slater. He just loved the name.
Look at Glinzer's comment. Dick Slater. That's the line Kamala Harris used to get to the top.
No, you didn't read that right. It's Kamala Harris.
Kamala.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God! I heard Alex Jones going off on her. That was the funniest. Oh yeah, she's just a walking blowjob. That's how she got there. She just sucked dick. He just kept saying it. I couldn't stop laughing. I was trying to blow in the face.
Dude, I had so much fun. I did a little short video where her saying, "Do not come. Do not come." I couldn't help because of all that shit everybody was saying. It's so funny.
Right.
This shit just makes itself sometimes on the internet.
Oh,
Yes.
oh my God.
Hail Chris Underwood. Hail Frankie Nose.
Yeah. Yeah, no one takes
Chris
the
Underwood.
And Glinzer, I basically talked about like I'm talking right now. There wasn't many promos where I yelled because I usually did. I mean, there's a couple, but mostly I kind of did that Kevin Nash style, just laid back. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna come into your house, put my feet up on your coffee table while your wife's topping me off, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. That was my promo style. I mean, I was myself, except dialed up, to heel. But
Right.
yeah, that's what I did. It was just me. I didn't really ever. Just different inflection. I mean, there was times where I would, get a little more, abrasive towards the crowd when they'd boo me. I'd be like, okay, so I was like, I've got all day. Go ahead, you white trash. I'm like, all the fluids are gonna leak out of your cars in the parking lot, and you ain't gonna be able to leave. So you got to listen to me. So.
Well,
yeah.
That's one of the things. A lot of the best guys out there in the business are the guys that doing the same thing you did. They did their own personality. It just maybe dialed it up a notch.
Yeah, that's all I ever did.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the goon. So no, here's where you can tell that Nitro's kind of running thin tonight. We get a Rey Mysterio highlight package since he's in Japan. Then Kevin Green. This dude's an NFL player. Like, you think he's showing up for like one match, and now they've got him in an entire fucking program. He comes out for the second time tonight calling out Mongo, but this time he takes off his shirt because he means business.
Yep.
And then he leaves backstage again when Mongo doesn't come out.
Yeah, because isn't he like, well, I gotta go. I gotta catch my flight.
Yeah,
My
I've
flight
got
is
training camp.
I've got training camp. It's gonna have to wait until I get back from training camp. And then doesn't Mean Gene say something like, well, that'll be a long 8 months or something like that?
Yeah. Like, I don't think anyone. Yeah. Nobody wants to see Kevin Green and Mongo. Yeah.
No.
Like,
they
dude was a
invited him to do
commentator.
that. They invited him to do that match. He's like the house guest that just won't leave.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
It's Savio Vega.
yeah. Next,
What you talking about, man?
and this is how you can tell WCW short. We get the highlight package with Rey Mysterio. We get a second promo with Kevin Green, and then they actually have Medusa on the show. Medusa versus Malia Hosaka is someone they traded from Japan. Of course, Medusa goes over with a German suplex, and now we're in hour number 2. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Okay, they have the WCW letters like on the top of the like bleachers or like, rows of seats they're using outside of Disney MGM Studios. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash have sheets with the NWO white sheets and spray painted NWO in black on them, and they drape those over the WCW. Bischoff hypes up the NWO a little bit. Heenan does, and Heenan continues to tell everyone I was right about Hogan. I tried telling you guys for years. Then we get Arn Anderson versus Ming, which, like, compared to what we got in that first hour, not bad. Especially because Ming goes over. Ming defeats Arn Anderson. I don't want to say clean because Jimmy Hart distracted the ref, but and then Barbarian did come out and kind of got involved too. So yeah, either way, I was surprised to see him put Ming over Arn Anderson. Next, we get Gene Okerlund, who talks to Steve Mongo McMichael and Deborah. So our third part of this fucking program that no one cares about tonight. They keep putting Deborah on the mic and she can't fucking talk.
No.
Mm-mm.
She's like, where did they Flair and Arn faced Kevin Green and Steve Mongo McMichael when they switched, and when Mongo joined the Horsemen and everything at like Great American Bash, and they tried to have Deborah talk then, and she's like, well, when they face each other at, and then Okerlund's like, Great American Bash. Yes, Great American Bash. Like,
you had to walk her through it. Yeah, dude, it was so painful every time they opened their mouth. It's like, you don't want to hear a stripper come out and just start talking to everyone. You want to see them dance.
Yes.
That's the big difference there.
Yes.
Puppies.
So,
yeah.
Deborah talked more than Mongo in this promo. Like,
and God love her, she's gorgeous, but just one of them ones. It's like, why are you here? Why? What? Okay,
exactly.
We get it. Your husband's here, right? Did Ric Flair really need another blonde with big tits on his arm to walk to the ring to? Absolutely. Hey, Mongo, your wife's now my valet. Like that's basically it. Because Ric Flair probably. I never really looked into it, but I mean, it just because Mongo. I don't know. He's just the drizzling as far as Horsemen go, like the worst two members of the Horsemen ever was probably Paul Roma or Mongo, I would say. Like I liked when they added Dean Malenko.
Mongo was coming out 2 years from now. Like,
why did they wait so long with Malenko? Because like he was perfect for that. They could have put him there for a while. But I was going back to Deborah for a second. It's like when it happened, I was like, oh my God. Stone Cold's such a piece of shit. And now looking back going, well, if I had to hear that voice all the time and I was drunk, I don't know.
She's like they're trying to have an argument, and she just keeps losing her place, and going silent. And Austin just has to pop her a few times. Like,
can't get her to remember.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just jolting her a little.
Yeah.
Closed fist.
Hall of Fame ring on. Yeah.
Steve Potato the shit out of her a couple times. She shut that mouth. God damn it, Deborah. Allegedly.
So,
allegedly.
Speaking of domestic violence, our next match is the match of the night, and it's all reliable for WCW at this point. You need an exciting match. Put these two on. Eddie Guerrero versus Chris Benoit. This one ends with a count out. They end up fighting out to the floor. Benoit's nailing Eddie, slamming his head into the steps. But Dean Malenko storms the ring, runs Benoit into the ring post, and Malenko tonight has kind of been like, I need to do what I need to do to get back to that cruiserweight title. He just lost it last week to Rey Mysterio. Eddie's able to roll into the ring, and Chris Benoit gets counted out after Malenko's interference. We get the main event. Now, WCW World Television Champion Lex Luger versus Big Bubba. This ends in a disqualification when Hall and Nash storm the ring and start beating. They just kind of call, it just ended in a no contest. They didn't announce a winner or who was disqualified because the outsiders come in. They beat Luger down. Hulk Hogan heads to the ring in his dark side gear and his creepy mustache. They dispose of Luger and they play Bubba a little bit because everyone's wondering, well, is there a fourth man? Is there a fifth man? They're not going to overthrow the company with just three men. Obviously, more people are going to be joining them. And they hand Bubba a shirt and pat him on the back, and he's actually kind of happy about it. And then they beat the hell out of him.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because I remember that as a kid when they gave that shirt, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, not but like, come on, little did I know later on they'd add Brutus Beefcake as the disciple, which is probably his best gimmick ever. But Yeah, it's
but
like
that would
that.
have
And then
been
they
like
get
Rick Rude and DX having Big Bubba in the NWO.
yeah. Rick Rude and DX made no sense. It's like anti-establishment. Here's Rick Rude in a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No slight to Rick Rude because I fucking love that man. He was a fucking legend.
Dude, that broke my heart when he passed away like that. He still looked like he was in amazing shape and everything.
Yeah.
And the heart just
Wow.
Yep.
It sucks.
Yeah.
So,
but this was a nice ending to Nitro, though.
Yeah, Gene Okerlund comes in. He interviews Hulk Hogan. The outsiders kind of stand off to the side, and Hogan's pissed the people are booing him when he told them about the 3 demandments that would make them successful. Hogan remembers meeting Sting at Venice Beach 10 years ago when he was a skinny little bodybuilder shaking in his boots. Hogan's sick and tired of hearing about Randy Savage, blaming him for his divorce, all because he couldn't rise to the occasion. The only problem is that he thinks he's the greatest wrestler in the world who made pro wrestling. Plastic bottles start, a lot of trash, just like at Bash at the Beach, starts filling the ring here. Hogan sends out a challenge to the Giant for the WCW World Title at Hog Wild, and threatens to beat up all of WCW. And he basically calls it out, like, if anyone has the balls, come down here now. And they start signing off like nobody's coming, but here come all the baby faces, the heels, Ming and the Barbarian, standing there with the faces, like, it's becoming more of a WCW pride thing at this point. But yeah, not the greatest episode of Nitro because, again, they had made some deal with New Japan. So we, got the B team tonight. We had some players on there, but definitely saved it. Like, if Hogan didn't show up at the end, it would have, like, Chris Benoit and Guerrero would have been the highlight of the night, but it would have been a pretty unmemorable Nitro. But this promo, actually, when they go back and show the NWO forming, they actually do go between, like, this promo and then Hogan's promo at Bash at the Beach. And, so, we have
graffitiing the WCW signs, like,
and the production trailer. And, so, again, not the best Nitro, but definitely better than what Raw had to offer. Camp Cornette is fine, but not in the main event. They belong in the Intercontinental range. And just having Shawn Michaels and Ahmed Johnson and Psycho Sid versus Owen, Vader, and Bulldog, I mean, it's just not very good. Vince needed stars at that point, and he had them. He just didn't know how to use them yet. But probably the best thing going on over there is Mankind and Undertaker. So, yeah, not fantastic.
Yeah, it was still better than Raw, though. I mean, I'll take the Nitro B team over the Raw A team at this point because they're just blah. Outside of like a few things over there, I mean, it's nothing compelling. It's nothing new. WCW at this point was breathing life into this business with every freaking week. You got the NWO now. You got Luchadors. You got Lex Luger and his stupid face. You've got Deborah McMichael cutting promos. And okay, so what I want to point out here is this is the image from the page I'm looking at. But look at this guy here in the background. You see this dude here flexing? Like in the gray shirt, look at him. This motherfucker's ready to take down all 3 of them. He's like, bro, him and the guy over here with the tank top and the white shorts on. Look at them. Yeah. They're like, we'll take you on. And maybe this guy with the mullet and the unbuttoned shirt over here with the kahaki shorts. But yeah, that would have been a good 6-man tag, and that would have been better than anything that was on Raw that night.
That guy looked kind of short. Is that a young Walton?
Does look like a young Walton.
No, Walton would have been about the size of the woman sitting down next to the guy flexing.
Well, I don't know. The way he was looking at Nash, like he looked like a big redwood tree. I don't know. That's what I was getting from that vibe.
True.
But yeah, I had to share this. I was like, that's just for this guy. I just noticed him like flexing, like, oh, like I'm like, look at you, Rick Ross. Look at you, big man.
Watch out, he could have been another member of the Four Horsemen.
They were waiting to throw him a shirt. He was like, "Where's my shirt, dog? I'm in."
Like,
Nash said, "I'm in."
You're done. We're getting this guy. Who? He's a great shirt guy.
We're signing Ron Howard over there. Opie.
You know, I'm hoping that we get a disclaimer on our video tonight for talking about Hogan's New World Order.
Yeah, what the
right?
fuck? That's
that
so
would
dumb.
just be awesome.
Yeah,
Biden's a fan of it. I mean, everyone watches the Monday Night War retrospective, so yeah.
I think I heard it mentioned more times in the past couple months than I did during the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah.
I've got a couple trivia questions to ask you guys. The first one, I think I talked to Etep about this and Draven, but I learned this last week, and rest in peace, Scott Hall. But I just thought this was an interesting nugget of information. And ask the chat as well. I trust y'all not to Google. The first one, how many Royal Rumble matches has Scott Hall / Razor Ramon participated in?
How many Royal Rumbles?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you guys want to take a guess.
I'll say 10.
I know the answer. So
me too.
I'd say about 14.
So was he even in WWF that long? We got 10 and 14. Tommy 10, Vinny 14. Frankie says 2. I'll give you guys a couple moments. Yeah, how many Royal Rumble matches has Scott Hall the man? Any gimmicks, anything at all? How long or how many has he participated in?
Well, Tony made me feel stupid. He's like, was he even there that long?
No, I'm wondering. I don't know. Like,
I have no idea.
Glenzer says 0. Brahma Bull says 3. And Glenzer's right.
0?
Scott Hall never partook in a. I think he's had matches at the pay-per-view, but he's never been in a Royal Rumble match.
Wow, was there a reason for that?
Mm-hmm.
I think just timing, like he was just always booked for something else. Which it just kind of, I'm like, damn, he never, not even in one, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was weird that he was when you talked about that with me. Yeah, that was his Intercontinental title run, I think. But there was a couple Intercontinental champions that entered the Royal Rumble because you had a chance to like go for the world title if you won. So, yeah, I can't remember. Wasn't Ultimate Warrior IC champion when he got in one? I think I'm not sure, but I can't remember.
So,
or if he was already heavyweight champion.
I mean,
heavyweight
now
champion
that shit doesn't even matter. You could wind up being a champion and wind up being involved because then at one point didn't they have the SmackDown champion that entered?
They had Lesnar in it, and he destroyed half the Rumble people until McIntyre took him out.
I like Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Yeah, he looked like a goblin at first, and I'm just I'm not a big fan.
I thought he turned into a decent worker, despite his despite everything. He was. I thought he was a decent worker, but they don't know how to book him.
Well, I think he was refining his character and his craft in his time in TNA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was like the minors. You know what I mean? In baseball. You get bumped down to TNA for a little bit, build your brand back up, reinvent yourself, and then, Vince will bury you because he didn't make you.
Yeah.
Fucking piece of shit. Yeah. Drew was, I think didn't he come up through Nexus or something like that?
He was
he in the Nexus?
He was Vince's like hand-picked. Like Vince wanted him to like go on to be a main star. He kind of picked him like Roman Reigns and all.
Okay.
Well, I remember what was it? Oh God, what was that? Power Wrestling, or it was one of those wrestling magazines that give like the top, top and up and coming wrestlers. Yeah, something like that. Because I actually have that issue where they were talking about the top 10 prospects, and in that list of prospects, you had Drew McIntyre, you had Sheamus, and you had Del Rio, whatever his name was.
Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, he was in there, and there was one other person. I'm failing to remember who the last person was. But yeah, they had these list of all these guys who wound up going on to do fairly well for themselves. But yeah, like he was the actual top pick for that magazine. They said that he was the number one pick, and that was the one Vince went after. And Vince was paying attention to what some of those magazines were doing. Like, oh, what they got going on? What's going on?
Yep.
What can I grab before somebody else gets it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's. I got another question here. How many WWE championships were won by Hulk Hogan? What do you think, Draven?
How many times he won it?
How many times he won the WWF Championship?
Are we talking about just WWF Championship, or like is this count like for
Not
the World Heavyweight title?
No, just in the WWF / WWE.
I'm gonna say either 2 or 3 because he had just gigantic runs. Like they wouldn't take the belt off of him.
Yeah.
I'd say 2.
I'm gonna say like 3, 4. But we'll go 3. I'll go 3.
Frankie.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in the middle of that. It's in between 2 and 3, and I'm not 100% sure because I know he did have a very short win when they didn't want to give it back to Brett. So I'm thinking maybe 3.
And that was actually out here too, WrestleMania 9. Yeah.
I'm going 4 because he won it. I'm thinking like he won it from the Sheik after the Sheik injured Backlund. And he tossed it back and forth with I think Macho Man at one point, then the Warrior one.
Did he?
I think he did. Didn't Macho Man get it from him at one point? Or no, that was just when the Mega Powers broke out. I'm saying 4. I'll go with 4.
All right. So Draven, you said 3.
Mm-hmm.
Vinny, you said 2.
Yeah, I say either 2 or 3, but I lean towards 2.
Tommy, you said 2.
I was on the cusp between 2 and 3. I'm not really sure. I'll go with 3.
And Etep, you said 4.
Yes, sir.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I'll tell you how many times he won it, but when he left WWF for WCW, he was a 5-time WWF champion, and then he came back after the match with The Rock at WrestleMania and everything. He won the title again on SmackDown, making him a 6-time, which was weird for me because I considered him, okay, well, he won it 5 times, and then I never expected him to come back to WWF. But yeah. He was a 6-time WWF champion. Frankie said 0, Probable said 5, Glenzer said 3. Another monster said 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 9. Jenny ain't home.
Oh shit.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about those long ass runs. I mean, I know the first time he won that thing, he had it for freaking years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he was the number 1 draw. I mean,
Roman Reigns is right behind him now. I think
that's sad.
Not in like not in date, but like longest title runs ever. I think he just passed Pedro Morales. Somebody, but yeah, it's like him, then Hogan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm trying to find some good ones from like our days. Nothing too recent here.
Yeah, Frankie, don't gamble, buddy. Don't gamble.
Yeah. He says my gut told me 6, but I put 0 because the first question. Damn it, no casinos for me. It's like, what's that song from Jersey Boys? I got the horse right here. His name is Paul Revere. And there's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do. This guy says the horse can do.
You definitely grew up around a bunch of mafia people.
Am I tipping my hat here?
You know Dominic the Donkey as well?
My dad.
Clickety clack, clickety clack. It's Dominic the Donkey.
That's right.
La 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 la. Oh hell yeah, dude! Come on now. My kid loves that, dude. That's right up there with like fucking like listen to like Jerry Vale and shit like all that, man. Yes, Vinny.
Priceless. See, that's why we're friends.
I know.
Did we just become best friends?
Hey, yep.
So, last question here. I'm actually caught between two of them, but I think I'm going to go with a bit of an easier one. Can you name the first U.S. city to host 2 WrestleMania tournaments?
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Shout out to Darren, like my father before me. Great to see you. Another monster.
Darren.
Great to see you. Hashtag FFSS. Yeah. First U.S. city to host 2 WrestleMania tournaments.
It's Viva Las Vegas is my guess. And the only reason I say this is because I remember one of them in where the building. Well, I wasn't there or anything. I just remember the building because I have a program for it. They gave away house shows. Like it was kind of cool actually. I got it the first house show I went to for the Fed. So I'm gonna say Vegas.
So Etep says guess. Vegas. What was yours?
Tony Stone.
I'm sorry. What was yours, Vinny?
New York, the Garden.
All right, Draven.
Miami. I'm gonna say Miami.
Miami. Welcome to Miami. Tommy.
Well, wait a minute. What happened?
What was the? A hint to everyone: it's nowhere in South Dakota. What was the first U.S. city to host 2 WrestleMania tournaments?
Jesus. Jesus. Well, wasn't it the one in Louisiana? Whatever that one is.
In New Orleans.
Nowlands.
So Brahma Bull says New York City. Glenzer says Los Angeles. Another monster says in the ghetto. Cold gray Chicago morning.
Oh, he's doing some Elvis on a cold and gray Chicago morning. Another WrestleMania
Subway. Yeah.
Held in the ghetto.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. I was too busy trolling. I'd unfortunately seen something that floated across my Twitter, and I felt the need to start sharing it with people. So if I have to suffer, everybody else does too.
Oh, lovely.
So here's what. Okay, it says.
Frankie says the answer is 4. He's got this.
It says New York City. So anyone who guessed that, Brahma Bull, Vinny, you guys.
Hell yeah.
But here's what gets me, okay? What I was thinking of right away was WrestleMania 4, where Randy Savage wins the title. But I thought that was in like Atlantic City at Trump's.
Yeah. I thought it was Vegas because I thought it was at the Trump hotel out. Didn't he have a hotel out there too?
No, they did Caesar's Palace out here.
Caesar's, that's okay.
He has a hotel out here, but not a casino. The Nevada State Gaming Board won't give him a license. He's tried to open a casino here.
Huh.
System's always been rigged against him. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So it says New York City, so that's what I'm going with. I'm trying to think if there was like some kind of mini tournament or something going on in the first couple WrestleManias before that, but
Well, didn't they have one where the first one was where Hogan vacated the title, wasn't it? Or how did the title get vacated? I can't remember how the title got fucking vacated.
I think Hogan and Andre's shoulders were on the mat at the same time.
Yeah, because this was the year after. It was WrestleMania 4 was the first one. Yep, and that was Atlantic City. All right, so, and then I can't remember what the second one was though.
They did Atlantic City twice. So WrestleMania 5. I know they were at Trump's Casino twice. What was WrestleMania 5 again? Yeah, that's it. The Mega Powers collide. So
yep.
Randy Savage won it at 4, and then at 5, him and Hogan went at it, but maybe they didn't do 2 tournaments in a row there, where they didn't. That was a tournament, but not 2 tournaments. So maybe it was Madison Square Garden, like Brahma Bull had mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Just 2 separate occasions or something.
Glinzer just got okay. No, it was Saturday night. It was Saturday night's main event. WrestleMania 1 was at the Garden. Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the 2 Hebners. Okay, thank you. I forgot that. Yep, Dave and Earl, the twins. That was how the title was vacated. Yes, I think dude. Oh my God. Okay, so Saturday night's main event was such a big deal back then. Oh my God, that was amazing. Remember the cage match with King Kong Bundy and Hogan where they busted Hogan's ribs all up and shit?
That was awesome.
Dude, that... no, Pontiac, Michigan was WrestleMania 3, Darren. Yep, that was WrestleMania 3. That was the year before because Hogan body slammed Andre then that night. Yeah, so... But yeah, that was a year before the first tournament. But yeah, thank you, Glinzer. I'd literally forgotten about the Hebner Gate, as it would become to known later on. I don't know. We're just calling it that now. It was Hebner Gate though. Yep.
Did he
Dave
wind
and
up
Earl
in the
Hebner.
back of a pizzeria parking lot as well?
He was like, there was some gay frogs.
We need at least one in there, right? Every time.
So there's one big fat gay frog back there who was 2.5 years late on it. I mean, sorry. I mean, where was I again?
Exactly where you were.
I was exactly where I needed to be in the right place with the right line with that sentence because it's true. You fuck. You fucking shit pile. No, but that was the beauty of wrestling back then. WrestleMania 8, the first non-title main event, Hulk versus Sid because of Hulk's massive ego. Yeah, see that's another one. Like I forgot about WrestleMania 8 and Hulk versus Sid. God. Yeah, no, Small Time Republic, and that was it. Like you were lucky if they did a Saturday night's main event. I remember I would be so happy because I got to stay up. Like I was a kid when that first young when that started, and that shit was on at 9-10 o'clock on Saturday nights, and it was because they'd preempt Saturday Night Live for that, and that was such a big deal when they started doing those. Now, like I said, because I was watching NWA back then mostly, but I watched WWF too when I got out of that in the later 80s, and I'd watch the pay-per-views because we always got them for free, but yeah, I was always watching because we had satellite, so I could pick up NWA, the Crockett stuff, which like I said, Road Warriors, Ric Flair, that was the shit. I was watching Ric Flair's match with Ricky Steamboat. Was that I want to say it was Wrestle War 89. They had just a amazing title match. Flair and Sting and even Flair and Luger. Flair and Barry fucking Windham could tear the house down. 10 p.m. Thank you. I knew it was late, but yeah, absolutely, man. That shit was just fun. Alec Arcane, I have the old Coliseum home videos. I have WrestleMania 1, and I have the Hulkster, Hulk Hogan. It was a blue case with him on it, and it was going back to him beating the Sheik after the Sheik knocked out Bob Backlund. with the camel clutch, and Hogan had to come in, and when he won the title from the Sheik. Oh yeah, I've got a couple of those things. Wait, Darren says, is it true you don't like Jim Duggan? I joke around. I just don't like his gimmick. I have nothing against Hacksaw Jim Duggan personally. No. He's not Sabu or anything where I think he's just a literal pile of shit. Jim Duggan's a good guy. No, I don't. I joke around. I never cared for the gimmick at all, yeah. Oh, Alec, I have a bunch of those tapes too, buddy. I know. I have I've got pay-per-views back to the 80s recorded on VHS at Mama's house, and all through the 90s. I've got a bunch of ECW ones when they started doing pay-per-views, like Guilty as Charged. I think it was in 96 or 97 was there. But the best one ever, promo wise for ECW, nothing. Well, nothing is better than Joel Gertner coming out and making dick jokes eloquently for 5 minutes while he introduces the Dudleys. But if you haven't seen it, it's still on YouTube. Go watch Bubba Ray Dudley and Devon for Heatwave 98. And it's basically all Bubba and Gertner because Devon didn't really talk. No. And Bubba eviscerated the crowd. I mean, he calls people a bundle of sticks. I mean, it's yeah.
It was a better time.
It was a much better time. But yeah.
Real quick, the first WrestleMania didn't have a title match for the main event. It was Hogan and Mr. T versus Piper and Orndorff. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, I hate it when they don't put the title. If the title's going to be on the line at WrestleMania, it should be the main event. Like, and that was one problem with the Royal Rumble this year. It's like everyone has held the title now. So it's like you're watching a whole bunch of former champions who've already been to the dance in the Royal Rumble. And it's just like, my favorite is when the up-and-coming star who hasn't been to the dance, but they're going to be a star, and they win that Royal Rumble, and it's like, geez, so this is what it's like with him going after the title finally. And that's because
wrestlers feel like that's what they strived for back in the day.
Yeah.
And now I feel like they don't really do that.
They treat it more of a prop. They treat it more like a prop now than they should. It should be more important to them.
Yep.
So, and hail Small Time Republic. Great to see you. 10 p.m. and my dad said, okay, you can stay up. And that's awesome. Those are the memories. So, yeah, I used to, back to the videotapes, I think I still have some RAWs in like my storage, but again, what was cool for me, like even when I wasn't taping them, I would get the live East Coast feed of Nitro here on the West Coast, and then I'd have like an hour after Nitro went off the air before Raw came on here, because they did have, USA Network did have a separate West Coast feed they'd send here, which was delayed by 3 hours. And yeah, the Sentinel, good to see you. The ECW crowds were vicious.
Yeah.
They were. Fucking memories, though, like WWF did hardcore, and that was cool and all, but it's like ECW was the real thing. That was wrestling for grown-ups. So.
Yep.
Okay, another monster. Yeah.
Kinda gay. Just kinda?
Yeah. The number one, I can't stand Ronda Rousey. And then she comes into the WWE, has this entitled attitude, and she uses Roddy Piper's gimmick, and everything about it I hate. And then they put him in the main event, which it just didn't. I'm sorry, but it doesn't belong. Like, at the end of the day, and I'll say it, like, wrestling is a man's domain, and sure, you can have a woman's league, and that's fine, but you know, it's like when Venus and Serena got beat. Venus and Serena Williams got beat by the ranked 206 or 203rd or whatever male tennis player in the world. It's like the same thing. Like, they're good. It's just, no matter how good I've seen a female wrestler, if she had the same skills as a male, it'd just kind of be average. So that's just what it is. I mean, I'm sorry, that's just what it is. Like, nobody likes the WNBA. Like, it's just females in sports. It's not the same, you know.
I don't know. I like AEW's. I don't know if they should be main event matches, but I like their women's division. Yeah, they've been destroying lately.
They've got a great women's division, but men are also having to walk around with their balls cut off. So
yeah,
you know, some are being given the freedom to express themselves and be what they want to be. As far as the female wrestlers, and the male wrestlers kind of have to watch what they say and do these days.
Oh, Sentinel, yeah, the crowds were just as important to the show as the workers were at that point. God, the chants. I mean, like I said, I just mentioned the comments. I discovered ECW in like '96. So I had some time to kind of soak it in before I went to shite on TNA or TNN. It was back then, the Nashville network. Yeah. And became, you know, just another company.
Yeah, does TNN even exist anymore?
No.
It's it changed to Spike TV.
That's right.
And then from whatever, the Paramount network from there or whatever.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was because Raw was on Spike TV for a hot minute.
Yep.
Yeah, that was so bad. Like, I just stayed on USA.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, we're going to let me get through the rest of these comments real quick, and then we're gonna go ahead and go around because Tommy had to go. He has stuff to do, and you can find his link in the chat. And I'm gonna go hang out with my wife and eat some dinner here in a second. So Super Bowl equals men, lingerie bowl equals women. That's just the natural order of the universe of Viva Toxicity. Agreed.
Amen.
Yeah, I heard about that, Glenzer. She had a number one, who brings a weed vapor into Russia.
Yeah, stupid bitch. Well, the same 6'8" lesbian, who punches out her like 6'3" lesbian wife.
Yeah,
you know, we did. Leslie remember we Jones? Did that. You mean Craig Robinson?
Man, he got really fat.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's what happens, you know. That's why you never know what can happen. And after COVID and a whole bunch of people got stuck and couldn't get home and shit, you think you'd mind your P's and Q's, but people are entitled. Like, if you can't go 2 weeks without weed, I'm sorry, but now you're in fucking some Russian prison. Yeah, fucking Allison, whatever her name. I know her from Glow. Allison Brie. She's talented.
Yep.
She's cute, but she's got a lot of talent, and she's actually able to express it some in that show. Tommy is all right for a guinea pig.
Yeah.
We'll nibble your toes, dude. And it's just as weird as it sounds. So. Tajiri versus Super Crazy versus Nunzio.
Yeah, yes. Those matches were fucking money. He wasn't Nunzio, man. You're talking Little Guido. He was Little Guido in ECW. Remember him and the Big Don, Tracy Smothers? The southern Italian gentleman, Tracy Smothers. That was so funny. I'm like, why is Tracy Smothers in the FBI? This motherfucker's from like, where's he from? Like Tennessee or like Mississippi or something like that. I'm like, he's out there dancing. Because they come out to Staying Alive.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Tracy Smothers would be out there dancing. Oh, that shit was so funny. They had Tommy Rich, the Big Don, Tommy Rich. Nunzio was like the only actual Italian, I think, in the entire fucking stable.
And yeah, Alec, you're right. Not her first time in Russia. She knows the rules, and it in a world where everyone wants to be a victim, she did that to herself. I mean, it's not the United States. Different countries have their own rules.
Mm-hmm.
You can go ahead and pretend borders are imaginary and we're all one world, but that's not the real world. There are constantly people going to show that terrorists aren't that bad, and they die out in the Middle East all alone, thousands of miles away from their loved ones. Yeah.
How many times have we seen that shit on the news?
Yeah.
People are just retarded.
Yeah. So let's go around. Everyone, let them know where they can find you. Mr. Draven, how about you, sir?
You can find me over on Twitter, or not Twitter. Well, you can find me on Twitter, but you can find me on Twitch. Tonight after here, I get off of here, we're gonna go over and play some Fortnite, probably with my buddy Shadows and whoever else decides to pop in. And then probably once he rage quits playing that, I'll hop back into some Elden Ring, and yeah.
Nice.
Sweet. I need to play some of I still haven't played Fortnite. I could do it on my Switch or my PlayStation 4, but I really need to try Genshin Impact.
It's fun.
Lacking on that.
Is Fortnite strictly online, or could you do like a solo campaign?
It's just a battle royale. There is a save the world mode, which is sort of like a tower defense, kind of like third-person shooter thing, but it tells that it doesn't, or you can tell that it doesn't get any attention from the developers because it doesn't make them money.
Yeah.
Right.
Those bastards.
Yep.
Vinny, what have you got going on, bro?
Yeah. Working on Shadow of the Kraken, almost done with it. Got just a couple pages left. So yeah, support that if you could. Support my other projects. Through the Woods, City of Venus. You know the shtick, you know the spiel. But check me out over on my channel as well. VinnieArt on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, all that stuff. And yeah, I just put up another figure review tonight. I did General Zod from the McFarlane line of figures. Pretty cool looking figure. I wasn't that familiar with it. I think it's from the New 52 design or Rebirth. I don't know, one of those. But it's a cool figure. So check that out. I'll have more reviews coming up soon as well. And you can catch me over on Tommy's channel after the probe, after Red's channel on Thursdays. We're going to be talking more toys and cool retro stuff. And yeah, then Fridays my streams and Sundays. So drop by. And yeah, everyone have a great night. You guys and girls are fantastic. Everyone on panel, much love.
Oh yeah, thank you, man. Always a pleasure.
Hell yeah.
Etep.
Hey, hi. I'm Etep Wokuian of the Place to Be Reviews. You might have heard of me. I'm kind of not a big deal at all, but in my own head, I have a massive like fan base of dozens and dozens of people. No, thank you. This Mr. wonderful Big panel, Mr. Big Deal. That's what I'm gonna start calling myself.
Mr. Not So Big Deal.
Mr. needs to shave his head. Yeah. Anyway, hi. Yeah, you can find me over on the channel. Tomorrow night, the members stream is back. So we're up to 13 members on the channel now. That's if nobody else has joined during the course of this. If you haven't, consider it. There's members content, members only live streams. I might be going on Nerdette's newsstand Thursday morning at 11 because she wants to debate me on some things. So friendly, of course. She seems like a sweetheart. You know, I listened to her. I dropped her a couple super chats the other day. I wasn't drunk like I wasn't super chatting myself last night.
Yeah, what the hell?
That was funny.
I know. I was like, I told my wife, I'm like, give me your phone. I'm going to send some super chats. And she goes, fuck you. I'm like, okay, I'll just use mine then. Here. How's this, huh? You want me to keep doing it?
It's like a savings account.
Right? I was like, it's all going back to me anyway. Mama Susan's like, nah, give me that. But no, you can find me over on Etep Wokuian's A Place to Be Reviews, where we talk about all kinds of ill shit. And no, really, tomorrow night is episode 10 of Wednesday Night Live. We'll have the members pre-stream at 8. I don't know who's joining me for that yet, but somebody will be joining me for it from the cast. Tomorrow we have Nick from World Class Bullshitters. We have Nano Reaper, if he's still available. And I think Mr. Grant Gregory might jump in at some point. And Tony and I. So we'll be doing that. And one of them will probably be on the pre-stream with me. We'll talk for an hour to the member, or about a half hour to 35 minutes, maybe 40, because we're long-winded to the members beforehand. And then we'll go on and do the big show. And a couple more videos. I got to get the Action Jackson review. Guys, I put videos out that, they dropped the last couple days while I was on vacation because I wasn't going to be, on the show last night, which the guys did a fucking amazing job of doing the show last night. Tony killed it hosting. Vinny, Red, Draven, and Chris were awesome as usual.
Where's my cut of the super chat, you son of a bitch?
Hang on, let me super chat myself and I'll pay you.
Where's my money? Where's my money?
Don't make a fool of me, man. Don't make a fool of me, man. All right, before I go full Etep Casino, no. So I'll announce it on Twitter if I'm gonna go over on Nerdettes Thursday morning. So yeah, and that's it, gang. Like I said, there'll be some more reviews. I'm gonna Bel Air episode 8 or 9 or whatever. Fuck, a god awful episode that shithole's on. I'll be doing that, and then like I said, Action Jackson is gonna kind of be a relief because I love that movie. It's so much fun. So yeah, that'll be out towards the end of the week, and I still have to do the Batwoman Best of Season 3. And I saw Dylan Thomas making noise in the comments. I will review fucking Hit Monkey. All right, Dylan. Why don't you become a channel member and I'll do it for sure. No, I'm just kidding. But I will review that because I said I'll finish reviewing that god awful show. So I will finish watching the last couple episodes I could barely sit through. And yeah, but I'm gonna go play No Mercy now and let Tony eat dinner with his wife.
That review is the last straw that will make him become a channel member.
It might be. I need to. It's like 6 months late, but I'll do it.
Marvel Animation is fucking garbage, and it's like they're owned by Disney. You think they? Yeah, it's garbage. Yeah. So yeah, check us out next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Apparently, I've seen one of the Raws already, but we're starting the Road to SummerSlam. I think we'll be hitting Hog Wild then, which is always a good time. Yes. Vince wouldn't surround himself with bikers like that. But WCW does. It's always a good time. I don't know if they're at the MGM Studios next week or not. But yeah, we'll continue to see the NWO grow and develop, and they're really kind of drip feeding it right now. But next week, the stars will all be back from New Japan, and it should be interesting. Looks like we're going to get the Giant and Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hogan at Hog Wild. Pretty sure that's where he wins the title, and they spray paint the NWO on it for the first time. So always a good time. Keely Chow, Glenzer, Another Monster, Brahma Bull, Alec Arcane. Who am I? Frankie Knows. Darren Like My Father Before Me, The Sentinel. Who else am I missing here? There's a lot of people in here tonight. Thank you.
We had 24 Eyes.
Yeah, 24 Eyes.
Alec Arcane.
Chris Underwood.
Yep, Chris. Let's see, who else did we have?
Chris Fisk.
Yep, Chris the Fist was here.
Parrothead Superfan was here earlier.
Yep.
Parrothead, Red Gaze.
Wookiee Supremacy.
Yes, Wookiee Supremacy. All of you guys, thank you so much. It means the world to us that you come in and not just listen, but hang out with us, add to the conversation, and really help bring the shows to life. So yeah, always appreciated. Yeah, and remember, they are not pop culture, they are agenda. We are pop culture, and we'll see you soon.